Brad Arnold. Oh,
Because we got to see.
no. Yeah.
Did he
That's
sing?
the last.
He did sing.
Yeah, he
man.
sang.
He did sing.
Okay. Well, oh, there's when they announced his cancer.
Yeah.
Was that a couple of days before we saw him?
God, what a
Yeah,
tough,
rest in
what a
peace,
tough
man.
scene.
It's not my
straight up.
time.
That was a hell of a
I'm
con.
not
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
It was his time.
Yeah,
It was
a
his
bummer.
time.
We got
Yeah.
to see him though, and I think he all impacted all of our lives.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
millions of others.
Hell yeah.
Just an amazing human being, and
I got in the truck, what was that, Wednesday or Thursday? Whenever I had to take the kids to school, and Lila, normally we'll listen to whatever, and she's like, Dad, can you play Three Doors Down? And it just kind of struck me. Because she had followed him through his journey, and his cancer journey and all that.
yeah,
And it just struck me really hard that morning. Is like,
Yeah.
fuck
Different
yeah, we
kind
can
of rock
listen.
star, right? Like, because, and I'm sure he's had his ups and downs, and I know everybody's got their different faith beliefs, but I remember at that concert, he opens up his set with a prayer. Like, he's like, I'm going to talk about my
The
God.
Church of Latter-day Saints.
Yeah, Church of Latter-day Saints. No, I'm going to talk about my God. Let's open up with a prayer. Which to me, whether you believe in Jesus or whether you believe in that or not, just to have a rock star go, hey, I'm going to talk about something very personal that has nothing to do with partying, has nothing to do with craziness. It's a positive thing.
Yeah.
And that's how I'm going to open my concert up. That's different, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't mad at it. I'm not the most religious person or necessarily spiritual, but I also, I don't have a problem with it. I think you walk a fine line in a situation like
Sure.
that. I think we all kind of knew the dude was going through it, but it was good to be able to see him be human and to be able to recognize, like, these are just dudes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yes, they're rock stars. Yes, they're doing like this larger than life thing, but at the end of the day, they got a family to go home to.
Right.
They're doing a 9 to 5. This is just their 9 to 5, man, and
Yeah.
human beings.
it's real and it's tough. And you look at it and you're like, God, another one.
rough.
It's just tough.
It is rough.
Before
I
we
see
move
it.
on for this, can we talk about how fucking phenomenal Scott Stapp and fucking Creed were? Like, that was fucking,
There's money.
Ridiculous, dude.
fucking phenomenal.
Fucking
ridiculous.
money. Nothing will ever touch that.
Like, that was fucking.
Nothing will ever touch that.
Yep.
Anyway.
Good.
Yeah, no, I mean, Creed's it.
I don't know.
As far as our generation.
Tell me, I mean, you guys were there too. The difference from them from record and live,
Oh, yeah.
like not much. Like I was even at this era, he was what 20 years,
Yeah.
18 years,
Dude.
something like that before.
Well, is he
like,
sober now? Like, he's like,
Yes.
he's
He's
like,
been-
got it.
yes.
He's so, like,
It's
you
been a
can
minute.
fucking hear it, like him.
But
like,
I was so
yeah.
impressed with not just Scott Sapp, but all of their sound. Like
Yeah.
it's like I'm in the car listening to My Sacrifice or My Own Prison. I mean, I was just so impressed, top to bottom, with them.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
It's a good show.
Good artist.
Yeah.
We don't.
But you
get
can
that
go
very
spend
often
what
anymore.
$450 and go to the 99 cruise tour that they're doing. Like you can
Dude,
go
if I
kiss
could
my
go on
ass
that
with that
cruise.
price.
Yeah.
If I had the money and the time, I would definitely be on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I got a raise, Danny, I would
raise.
definitely go to
got
that.
Just got
fucking
right.
I need a
Like
raise.
3 weeks ago.
For those who don't know,
Like a
Danny's my
ridiculous
direct
raise.
boss, by the way.
Danny, Dustin and I need raises.
I would also like a raise.
Yes,
I need some more money.
Jesus.
I need some help in the sales department. Can we bring some help,
They've
please?
hired a sales director. It's me. And
I will gladly work for you any day of the week.
Hi, guys.
I will gladly work for
Marshall,
you,
we
sir.
get fired in like fucking 3 days.
Dude, you'll get punched in the face with mine and Eric's farts. You won't survive.
I wouldn't know.
But I would work for you.
All right.
On that note,
How about the Giants?
let's get into the draft. We got to talk about the draft.
Pull,
I mean,
pull up the list. So I can
I'm
look
on
at
now.
it.
Hold on, Skeeter. As we're recording this on a Saturday after the draft is over, after we've got through all 7 rounds, we've seen what Colts have done. So we'll definitely have to talk through that. But also, I want to talk to you a little bit of what the Bears have done. But I think the Giants and just some teams that stood out for you, I think would be a cool topic to bring up. And we gotta mention the draft at least a little bit, and then
Can
whatever.
I know everybody like does the draft grades and like, hey, you got A or B. Can we put some like guardrails on this if we do talk around that? Like, hey, what do you got? Like, what is it an A? Like, so for example, like, hey,
What
is
CBS Sports puts out?
well, like Mendoza,
Right.
for example, like
That's how people do it.
Is Mendoza a grade A because Mendoza is going to be a really good quarterback in the NFL, or because I don't know that he is, or is he a grade?
Nobody does.
Or is he a grade A because he's the
It's because he
best?
fits what they need.
Or is he? Or
That's
is it
what
a
the
grade
game
A
is.
because he's the best available, even if he's probably going to be a mediocre quarterback, which is probably what he's going to be.
I think
that's-
obviously the grade is, are you feeling what you need?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I see that's how they grade it. I don't think anybody knows what any of these guys are going to do,
No,
right? But
for sure.
are they high octane? Are they fitting the spot? Yeah, but they grade it off. Hey, are you making the right move in the
Right.
right spots
what
that
you
you
need.
need to perform?
I mean, years ago, I'd have told you that Jamarcus Russell was going to be the next best quarterback coming out. And
And you would be wrong.
That's why you're not.
just like the statement I had just dropped, he was not.
He was not.
Somebody take his microphone.
He's a large shooter.
I said what I said. He was the next
And it
best
was great.
next
It
thing.
was beautiful.
Yeah.
best
He was
thing.
So
flows.
you just
We,
gotta
that
run
is
with
actually
it.
we could have put that on a
You just-
t-shirt.
you just gotta run
Next
with
best.
next best
Then
thing.
an arrow pointing down.
He was the next best
Honestly,
best thing.
I wasn't gonna let you flow, but you gave me the look.
I
Like,
gave you the
oh,
look.
Shit, that's
Had
great.
you not started laughing and put your head down, I'd have been okay. When you put your head down, it killed me.
You
I
killed
mean, that was
Danny.
grade
But
A Marshall.
I was
right there.
Jamarcus Russell coming out looked fucking phenomenal. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was a little bit on the bigger side. He played bigger at
So did
LSU.
Ryan Leaf.
But he did phenomenal at LSU. I would have told you Jamarcus
But there
Russell was
are-
going to be
but
great.
there are characteristics I think you can see in people and go,
Johnny Manziel.
you know,
Well, I mean, if you don't have
yeah, for sure.
what Mendoza has, like hard work ethic,
Yeah, but
charisma,
I am sold that
leadership.
Mendoza-
I don't
says-
think Mendoza's going to be a terrible QB. I think he's going to be Sam Darnold-ish.
No.
Sam
That
Darnold
gets you a
just won a
chip?
Super Bowl,
Come
so
on.
yeah, by all means.
I mean, that's
better than
not a
Kirk
bad-
Cousins.
Not a bad place. To
Better
be.
than Kirk Cousins.
First
Not a
of
bad
all,
place to be.
Sam Darnold is about as dull as it comes. The dude is just a
Have you
good
listened to
quarterback.
Mendoza?
Mendoza's pretty dull.
I was gonna,
I love him. I love
He's
him to
not
death.
dull. He's like the most charismatic player in the league
what do
now.
you consider charismatic?
I don't know.
What do you mean? The
I-
dude
have
is
you met
loud
Je-
and
Jesus
I
Christ,
like-
your
I-
Lord and
fast.
Savior?
It's charisma. He has charisma.
I love the kid. I think
He
he's got.
literally
Okay, I'll agree with you
skewed
here.
his team into winning.
I'll
a
agree with you.
championship.
He's got
Like,
charisma
leadership.
for the
Yeah,
lack
that's
of
the-
charisma.
Okay.
His lack of charisma is his charisma.
Well, there's two things we're talking about. We're talking about charisma with the team, in the locker room, with the boys, leading the men on the field. That's one thing. In front of the camera and who you are in the press, like that's where like the PR side's just. I mean, he's just a goober, but Andrew Luck was a goober too.
Well, that's what charisma is.
That's okay.
You're
And
just
Andrew Luck
it's
quit on his
loud
team.
and proud, and
Andrew Luck's a
and you
quitter.
say things that come off your tongue.
that did happen.
You know, and you grow a fan base. He's grown his whole fan base off of his.
Oh,
charisma on the
I
mic.
love the dude, and
Yeah.
I hope
Are you sure?
I do, and I hope I'm completely
Are you
wrong.
sure?
But if I'm looking at the NFL, I don't think he's going to find the same success he found at Indiana.
Can I?
I think you can
Well,
find that.
Can I?
because-
Can I ask this question
Ask
real
it.
quick?
You-
Sorry.
Well,
No,
you're on
you're
a
good.
Podcast, so yeah.
How do we? How does Sam Darnold win a Super Bowl? Speaking
Right
of
situation.
Kenneth
of,
Walker.
And he did win it.
he did.
He
Yeah.
played. He played.
And
solid.
he played
What
damn near a
happened
perfect
last year?
game.
Yeah.
Now you just said like that. All that just transpired, and I'm like,
Yeah.
holy shit,
You're
he did
thinking-
win a
you're
Super
thinking
Bowl.
about it.
He didn't turn the
How?
ball over. He played a great.
He played for a really good team.
I know it's just wild though.
He did.
But
protect
also
the
look
ball.
at their defense. Go and look at
Yeah.
what their defense did. They
Hey, Philip
hey,
Rivers
no,
diced them
no,
up.
you can't do that. You can't
Why?
do that.
I can do that. There was a few games that their defense didn't do great.
A few
on.
games.
and he did.
And
pretty
what did
fucking good.
their defense do against the strongest, most
They did
potent
well.
AFC offense?
They did
Almost
well.
got beat by Philip Rivers.
Almost got
That
beat
did
by
it. That
Phillip
did happen.
Rivers.
Basically
Yeah.
did,
But
but
they
got
shut
a
down
miracle field
Travion
goal.
Henderson, who had been on fire. You shut down Drake May, who'd been the chuck down
For
king.
sure. I agree with
They
you.
shut down that third down play action pass deep.
I don't disagree with you, but
They
his
literally
his playoff run
They
was
took
Sam Darnold.
I'm just
they took
looking at the
New
outside
England's
of it.
nutsack and it was like, no, this is ours, and there's not a fucking thing you can do about it.
Right.
Well, yeah, New
But
England,
what was
shit.
Sam's Darnold's? Now we're getting off fucking topic. But what was his stats in the fucking Super Bowl?
Oh, in the Super
I'm just
Bowl?
thinking like.
All right,
I mean,
like,
they ran the ball every play,
hold on,
probably nothing.
Hold on. Let me go back because we definitely went way off the rails. We've been through years now of the Chiefs, the Bills, the
$5,000.
Ravens. Like we're talking about like this,
Yeah.
era of teams, right? And then all of a sudden, Sam Darnold wins the Super Bowl. Like, what the hell happened?
Well, because look,
You know?
it's the same shit.
Is that Mike McDonald coaching, or is that Sam
I mean,
Darnold?
clearly it's
all-
coaching,
all.
and I'm not taking away from Darnold. I mean, the dude performed.
He still has to
Well,
execute.
But
you
like,
have to- it's all
like,
of it.
What had to have happened through the trifectas of that the Seahawks?
So it's
won the
not
Super
great.
Bowl
Not a
last year,
great.
You know?
It's an interesting point.
Yeah,
I
the Super
think.
Bowl did kind of suck.
Do you understand? Do you
Yeah,
get
no,
what
I
I'm
get what you're saying.
Like,
We're in a different era, and we're in an era of
Yeah.
And Brady touched on this, which I don't want to give him too many props
You
or
should.
anything, but
Brady's
he did call out the fact that like in the Super Bowl, the quarterback play is just at a different level now.
Yeah.
What they're asking quarterbacks to do is totally different than what they were asking Brady to do and Manning. Even going back to Luck and some of these other guys in that same era, Rivers, all those guys, they had to be the field general. And I just don't think you have it's not to say, you got to be immensely talented to do what any of these guys do. Pick the worst starter in the NFL, and he's an amazing athlete. So let's start there. But you also have to look at it from the fact of just you're asking different things from these guys.
For
And
sure.
You're just asking them, don't turn the ball over, be smart with it.
Right.
Understand when you got to just hand the ball off. I mean, look at and again, pass rating isn't everything, but dude had 75 passer rating in the Super Bowl.
Right.
That's it. He didn't throw any picks. He didn't turn the ball
He
over.
did what he was
Clean,
asked to
just
do. He did what he was
solid,
asked to do.
50% completion.
He managed the game.
Look,
Yeah.
we
San
thrive.
Francisco.
It's the same thing you
Like,
see.
just think about these teams that, like, where was
Zerf-
the 49ers at?
Surf,
Like,
it's the same thing you see in the NBA. It's affecting the NFL in a different way, but they rely on these analytics. It's the same reason that the Indianapolis drafted what's his name, Anthony Richardson's, because he tests off the charts. His analytics are off the chart. He's a fucking
Well-
athlete. Lamar Jackson.
Well, when you have a retard for your GM, shit like that happens.
But go through it. Go through the list.
Keeping
Lamar's
that all day, buddy.
Lamar's a fucking athlete.
God.
Kyler Murray's a fucking athlete. These guys are athletes.
Who plays
They're-
Call of
Hey,
Duty? By
and
the way.
I will fully
Never
back
win
the
a
Kyler
Super
Murray
Bowl.
comment.
They are not great NFL QBs, though. They are never going to get it
No.
done. They're never going to consistently win.
They'll show flashes.
Right. I watched different things on Brady, but he made similar comments, and he said, I forget what team he was talking about, but it was one of the Super Bowls. He was like, they thought I was vanilla because I didn't run anything different, but I knew what they're based on how they lined
That
up.
was the Rams.
How they lined
That was
up,
the
I
Rams.
knew before I snapped the ball how you were
Yeah.
gonna do you.
Whether you did it five
Whether-
times in a row.
right.
That's
I
why
knew
McVay
you were gonna
lost
do
the
you.
first time.
And I
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
beat you because I knew what you were gonna do before you
Yeah.
fucking did it. And we don't have that
No.
anymore.
we don't.
It's gone.
Yeah.
we don't.
Or if we do, it's in small sections.
I think
right?
you're going to see it with some guys that come in. I think Mendoza's more of a guy along that line. Like, he's not going to be a guy that wows you with the athleticism. Like, the whole thing with AR was, I don't even think it was stats or analytics. It was just
It
like,
was.
look at him.
Yeah.
Look at this dude.
Yeah.
And you've made the comment a
Well,
million
it's like
times.
that-
Watch him throw the deep ball.
Yeah.
It's like, holy crap.
Well, it's like that-
Throws the deep ball better than anybody in the
You know,
league.
compare him to this year's draft. Who's a player coming out that's very similar to that? That would be the tight end out of Oregon, Kenyon Sadiq, who's 6'5", 240 pounds, 0% body fat, has all this stuff going for him, super fast. Okay, well, you got demolished when you played IU when it mattered most. What did you do in that game? Oh, you lost twice to IU. What
getting his
did you
shots
do
up.
either game? You didn't really matter when it
When
mattered.
it mattered. What was,
So-
ask yourself
kicked
these
in.
questions if you're running a team. Do you want a freak athlete that could probably do anything on the field, or do you want a guy that's so prepared that he knows
Yeah.
what's going to
You want a
happen before it
Mendoza.
happens? Which
Plain
one?
simple.
Which one would you pick?
Mendoza all day
Taking
long.
Mendoza.
This
all
guy's
day.
not as good an athlete, but he can definitely do the things, and he knows what's
You're
going to
not
happen.
gonna
before it
out-
great
happens.
leader.
You're
Yeah, dude,
listen.
come on.
Or do you want
Listen.
Lamar? Or do you want Kyler? Or do you want these
Listen.
guys that are great athletes, but they're not going to fucking?
Listen, you might.
Dude, the reason Lamar hasn't won a Super Bowl is because he's not a great leader.
Yeah, he can't
Listen,
lead.
you
Nobody's
might
Fighting and
You
digging
might
for
out-
him.
No.
you might
You know what I mean?
here and there out athletic Mendoza. You might
Yes.
out
Yes.
throw Mendoza.
Yes.
You might get more touchdowns than
Yes.
Mendoza, but what you're not doing is beating him in the film room. You're
No.
not gonna outsmart that man. He's gonna figure it out.
Right.
Look for the Raiders.
You're not going to beat him in the dogfight.
Right, and look for the
Plain and
Raiders,
simple.
and I'm putting it out there right now. Look for the Raiders to be the Raiders of the '80s, where they're controlling the NFL and they're dictating. You want to know why? Is because you had a quarterback like Ken Stabler back in the '80s. You had a smart quarterback who could figure it out, and now you have that with Mendoza, who's gonna figure it out. Look for the Raiders to win at least 2 Super Bowls in the next 10 years.
1952.
I'm calling it right now.
I fucking love it.
People forgot. I think people do forget that a game like football is a game of chess. Like it is.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
Absolutely.
That's
Yes.
why Brady fucking won.
It is
Yeah.
a game of chess.
Right?
Like it really. Yes, you do have to have some athleticism. Not
And why,
some. You have
why
to,
did
you
the
know,
Colts win? They won that chess
Yeah.
match.
You have to be able to
Peyton.
play chess. And Peyton and Brady were great. And I think you're going to start seeing more and more of that coming back because
It's got to come back because now it's in. I feel like it's shifted to the coaches and the quarterback coaches' hands, and now it's like it's in their hands. Now we got to build a good defense and just
Yeah.
put a mediocre quarterback in.
Yeah.
right. Like build a strong defense, which I can get behind that.
Well, why
For
do you
sure.
think
Can't
the
win a
NFC was so
championship like
strong this last season?
Yeah.
They followed that gimmick.
Yeah. I do want to touch on the tight end comment that you said. Do the Bears have a tight end obsession?
Yeah, when we look at, I don't know
Because,
what's
like,
going on.
dude,
I would
I-
even argue even more so than the tight end, just the like an offensive weapon
Yeah.
obsession. Like what are we doing?
I mean, I'm good with it. I just was shocked.
Yeah, you're not.
I was
alone.
like another tight end, like
well,
because I was like, even last year,
who
with
was it
Komet-
lined up? Who was it lined up next to Dallas Clark for a year? Like I think having two really good fucking tight
Yes.
ends.
I mean, I can get
but
behind that.
they have to like okay. If you're talking about the Bears and you're talking about like questionable things and like to your point in the tight end obsession, you've got 2 legit starting tight ends. Colston Loveland's the
Dude,
a wide receiver. You've got Cole Kmet, who's I mean he's
I
been
feel
in the
like
league
he
for
was.
years.
If he was on a
Solid,
different
dude.
team, I mean, he's
I'm not
doing
mad at
Loveland number. You know what I mean?
I'm not
100%.
mad at
Like,
it.
look at Komet before
Stop
Loveland
it.
came in. Like,
Stop
I'm
it.
just,
Like and that's
I feel
where
like
go
they
with it. Stop
shadowed
it.
Cole Kmet.
What you have to look at who's the Bears running back going into this season?
Well,
Sorry, I know.
yeah, I mean it's a good question. I think that in terms of like who's going to end up
The reason why I say
Yeah.
that is old boy from Stanford played H-back at Stanford more than 40% of the time while he was there.
Who was Chicago's running back in 1973, Marshall?
Gale Sayers. But
That might be
what
right.
you have
No, it
what
fucking
what you have out of Sam Roush, I should say.
I didn't fuck his
is-
point up either. Look
is
at
Sam
not.
Sam
It's not.
Roush is a hell of a blocker. He's a very good tight end who's going to catch in the flat. What gets him and why he fell is his route running and his catching at all times. Now,
Yeah.
what you have out of this is you've got Logan Jones, who's a hell of a fucking center, who's probably going to start in the next 3 years for the Bears.
he won't start this year.
So-
No,
so where
that's why
would
I said
you-
the next 3 years.
Not that you.
And you've got Sam Roush, who's a solidified blocker, who's a badass, who's probably going to be your blocking tight end from day one.
The Bears have a wealth of
I
talent
love
at the
you
team.
so much, dude. It's ridiculous. Sorry.
Where would you if you were gonna say the Bears fucked up, you would do something different? What would you have done?
How do you even know-
Xavier Thomas.
How do you even know who the fuck Gale Sayers is?
That's
Are you
what-
kidding me right now?
How do
Yes.
you not know who Gale Sayers
Like,
is?
where I
You're
think
talking to me, who's got this short little bubble of NFL in history,
Like
like
we're talking
war history. There's what I know and there's what I don't know.
Is war history.
All right,
you like
who
how
was the running back
quickly
in
I dropped that on you,
73?
by the way?
Who
No,
was
I
it?
love it. I
Who was
love
it?
that.
I know you do.
Some no name.
Did I say 73? Is that the?
That's what I love.
yeah, but-
Bang.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah,
Hit
punch you in the
bang,
jaw.
Boom.
Just gave you a little jab.
I just love it.
No,
That's what I
Xavier
love
Thomas
about
is
you.
where they fucked up because he had a
He's
lot.
right back.
He dropped the ball so many times when
Yeah.
it mattered. And that's why you saw Garrett Nussmeier struggle this season, where he should have been the first quarterback coming off.
Yeah, we got the autistic guru of the pigskin here on this First and 10 podcast.
But mark my words, Mike, you're
Fucking
gonna have
nailed it.
You're, Mike,
Fucking 70s?
Mike.
Really?
Mike,
It wasn't correct. The answer was wrong, by the way. That was not the running back in 1970s.
Mike, you're
When
gonna
was
still.
Gale Sayers?
Well, he was in the 70s. He was early 70s,
I think he was
right?
hurt. Yeah, by that
Mike,
point.
Mark
was
my
close.
Was it specific 70s? Or did you
I
say
said
specific?
73.
Mike, mark my
Oh,
words.
okay.
You're
70.
gonna have
70.
Kayshawn
71.
Elliott
It's better than I
start
would've
from
done.
day one at linebacker. Mark my words.
Dude, that's better
Kayshawn
than anybody
Elliott.
would have done in my.
I believe you.
Sorry,
Hell
I'm
of a
having sidebar.
linebacker,
I'm shocked. over
fast as hell, makes plays,
still
makes
fucking going.
mistakes at 100%. That's what you want
Feed
out of a
him.
linebacker.
So
Hey,
here's the thing. To go back to the original question, you talked about where the Bears fucked up, and
Xavier, what's his name?
no,
Thomas.
I think it's Sam Roush, and it's less because of Sam Roush himself. It's
No, you didn't need a tight end, but you got a solidified blocker
why
from day
don't
one
you
right
need
there.
a tight end? Just because you have one good tight end doesn't mean
No.
you don't need a
the
fucking
Bears
tight
have
end.
more than one tight end.
What
bro.
that? Hold on,
Well,
Mike.
I know
Mike,
they have
I know.
more than one.
Hold on, give
Colson
me a
Lovely.
sec.
Cole Kmet is a dude who could be an All-Pro at tight end.
How old
give me
is
a
Cole
sec.
Kmet? How old is Cole Kmet?
He's like 39. Give me a
okay,
sec.
he's done.
25. 26 years old, dude.
He's
What are we
27.
talking about?
He's
He's like
27.
39.
Okay, 27.
I was asking. I didn't know.
All right, give me a sec.
I was.
What you get out of Sam Roush is what he brings is a whole different dynamic to a Bears offense. He's an H-back. H-back. Think of that, Mike. So you
Yeah,
have a
I'm
tight
well-
end
I'm
who's
well
coming
aware,
in motion
but-
left and right, but you also have a guy who's 6'6", 260
cooking right now.
pounds, who's gonna annihilate somebody when he's blocking. It's gonna look like a smaller Trent Williams when he's in motion to annihilate a freaking guy on the edge who's looking to pass rush.
Let me
He's
ask
gonna
you-
get
Trent Williams was
pancakes
a
left
bust.
and right. This guy's
Is he
gonna
gonna
bring a dynamic to the run.
Is he
game,
going to
Mike.
do that better than Cole Kmet, though?
Cole Kmet's just looking for his 10 yards catches, man. He's Cole
What?
Kmet couldn't block at Notre Dame. He hasn't really blocked that well. Why do you think they
Here's-
drafted Colson Loveland
here's-
last year?
Well, because he's an elite athlete.
Well,
That's
elite
literally all he
athlete, and
does
he
is
can block a
block.
lot better than
So-
Cole Kmet.
So, the original point was like where they messed up, and where they
I just tried to sneak his fireball shot in.
ugh,
Two
those-
of them. You got a fucking problem, bud. I heard
So-
him crackle when you threw it.
So you asked that you
Going
asked
through a
the-
lot.
You asked the question. You go through a lot. You asked the question about where the Bears messed up, and it's less about the guy and what he can do for the offense. The offense was not the problem last year. The problem was on the defensive side and no pressure on
Your
the
offense
quarterback.
I'll give you that,
was the
but
problem.
you don't understand what you got out of.
consistent. All right,
Not
dude,
last year
We're
it
talking
wasn't.
over
Okay,
each other.
okay. This is me and you, Bubby.
Uh-huh.
What did you get out of Thieneman in the first round?
A thing to minimum.
You got a guy who can help in the secondary. You did not
Okay.
get not get a pass rusher. You don't
Okay.
have a pass rusher. You
I'll
got a
give
bunch
you-
of
I'll
old
give
guys who
you-
are overpaid.
I'll give you that because I feel like you need to get some on the front line. But what you got out of Thieneman is you've got one of the smartest safeties in the draft. And
Still a
where
rookie.
okay, that is the Bob Sanders of this
Amen.
draft. And what I mean by that is there's nobody better in this draft from the safety position that can blitz and get to the quarterback quickly.
Yeah,
but
that's
can
not the
also
role.
show blitz and get back and get at the pick.
But that's not
that
the
guy
role.
is the smartest
We're
safety,
getting in a
Mike.
rabbit hole of
So
fucking
where-
Bears.
where-
Oh, yeah,
so
Bears.
I'm
where-
here for the Bears.
So,
but-
Mikey, where I'm going with that is this guy's. Yes, you should have gotten somebody on the defensive line in the second round, third round, fourth round, whatever you want to say. But Thieneman is so smart and such a great athlete. Is he's going to cover so much of what's wrong with that defense because he's such a great player.
I have no issues with you picking up
That's-
secondary, like Bears secondary. That's not a problem.
Should have done that right in the mic.
Here.
All right. Let's move off the fucking
I am
Bears.
so
We lost
good.
half the population on this one.
So to sum it up, where where the Bears are at, and ultimately where they fucked up is they didn't get enough. Where the Bears are at, where they messed up is the fact that they didn't do enough to bolster the defensive line. The defense is going to be a problem. They're not going to get enough pass rush to really make a difference and speed up the offenses they're playing against.
Sure.
So you're going to be in shootouts. And yes, the Steeneman, I got no problem with that in the first round, but man, you had 2 third-round picks. You used it both for offense. That's just a bad move. The offense isn't that bad. But
I like the Bears.
I don't think your
I like the Bears
offense
too,
is as
but-
good as you thought. Your offense, I think your offense, when it had success, it didn't know that it had. It didn't know how it did its success. When it felt like it was puttering half the time, and then it fell into success. So I think you look at it and you go, "Oh, we had a good season." But did you I think they're
nearly a top 5 offense in the league last year with everything that happened, with all the just the learning curve.
But there
that
was
comes
also
with
a
Ben
lot
Johnson.
of, and maybe you're
I'm
right.
not worried
Maybe,
about the
maybe
offense.
you're right. Maybe it was learning curves, but there was a lot of times where it was like your offense is not fucking great at all. Like it was terrible.
Well,
Ben Johnson got it together. I
He
don't
did.
think offense is.
and you
not
know
gonna
what's
grow.
even better for Chicago is I feel like they have a dual threat in the backfield.
with Swift and
Well,
they got Roshan Johnson's the one, but
Your big issue is can you get
I don't even know
Caleb
how
Williams
to
to
pronounce
play
his name.
fucking
Is it
consistently?
Manungai.
Okay.
Manungai. Yeah,
I
he's
struggled with this last year because he came out of nowhere.
Would you call me?
Yeah, I mean, he came out of nowhere. The dude runs hard.
yeah no
Between him and Swift, and if Roshan stays healthy,
yeah he hasn't been able to stay healthy.
the dude's whole career has
right.
been injuries. But I mean, clearly he's a stud when he's healthy.
Yeah,
But even if you put him in the mix as a healthy, even just Swift and Manungai, is that how you say?
Yeah, Manungai.
How do you pronounce that?
Manungai.
I literally watching this dude on TV trying to pronounce his name.
Manungai.
I just want to say Manungi.
Manungai.
Just do it.
I mean, he's a stud. Like he's a playmaker. So I feel like you get a little bit of action in the backfield. Your QB can do
I
anything.
love action in the backfield.
Okay.
by the way.
You can
bet
do
you do.
anything. Your QB frees up. How many times you guys hear me talk about the freaking run game?
100%.
All you have
Yeah.
to do in the
I
NFL,
love your text messages during the football season because
establish-
they're all cap
Run the
locks.
ball.
Yeah,
It's
run
cuss
the fucking
words.
ball.
It's cuss words, caps
Why are we
locks.
not running the ball?
And then it's fire
And every
shame.
time we lose, it's because Jonathan Taylor has 46 rushing yards.
Can we
It's
talk
like,
about
what
it?
are we
Can we
doing?
talk about it?
12 rush attempts? Like,
Why did
hey,
Tampa Bay win a Super Bowl in 2002? Why did they beat Oakland?
What the fuck? It's 2026.
Because they ran the ball.
went
What
from
worked?
1973
You had
to
work. You had
2002.
work done
Yes.
running the ball left
Okay,
and right.
Rain
You had
Man.
Mike Allscott running the ball left and right.
Damn
Oh,
it.
by the way, your defense stops a Slim Suggo that Raiders had dropped 2 years in a row.
Who?
Slim Suggo.
Out of my league.
It's a pump fake on an in on a
Somebody
15-yard
Google this.
in.
Yeah, please.
You pump fake and the receiver goes out. So it's a stop
Okay.
and go.
I can't imagine as a podcast that we're so good. I'm going to give you both compliments right now, but I'm also going to question you.
I'm Rain Man,
That
by the way.
we're so
Rain
good
Man.
that I have who I believe is the best NBA analysis or analyst, whatever, breakdown guy out there in Surface. That we also have the NFL guy. Is this true? Like, do we have both?
I mean, he just ripped out 1970s.
I mean, I killed your
running
boy
back
with
from the
Gale
Bears,
Sayers.
so- No,
Yeah.
I'm with it, dude.
Yeah, do we have that on our podcast?
And then I just
Yeah.
killed you with the
You
2002
did.
Buccaneers.
You did. Anyway, I'm just having like
Sometimes
a
you just
moment.
love a game.
I'm
you
having
know?
a moment right now
You
of
just
like
love a
what I
game.
have in front of me because I love sports and I love what we
Yeah.
talk about. And when I talk to you, it's like talking not to a mirror, but somebody that's like, okay, yeah, I can spitball on basketball, and you have so much knowledge on the NBA and basketball in general. And then when you get going, it's like, oh shit, I got this on the same level of football, and I got somebody that can tell me things.
Just love the game.
Yeah, it's
man.
just wild. Like, well,
I
I
just
just
love
want
the
to.
game.
Hey, both
Take
you
a
boys,
pause
both
for a
you
minute.
boys love basketball. My first love was football, and I deep dove every Saturday growing up. For me, was at 9 to 10, I would watch John Madden, Chris Collinsworth, Jerry Glenville on HBO, and they would do HBO would have their I forget the name of the show, but they would have a football show from the week prior, and it would go through everything, and then I would go play myself, and then I would go try to find Julius Peppers playing or Michael Vick playing because they were huge at the time.
Right.
And then we'd watch in NFL, and then me and Dad would go and watch the ESPN show after the NFL and watch what's his name who does the show? Chris Berman.
Chris Berman.
Oh yeah.
Inside the
We'd watch that, and
What was
that's
the
where my
HBO show? Was it inside the NFL?
inside the NFL. Sorry.
That was
Well,
phenomenal.
that's-
back in the day.
Boys, that's where my
It didn't
love.
seem-
Dan Marino
Because
was on that. For
do
a
you
little bit, I
remember you
think.
could watch a lot of the old NFL games?
Yeah,
They would show
Yeah,
it
yeah.
randomly throughout the week.
because
It was
you
a
would just,
school
it was
week.
like you
Wednesday
just had
nights.
running.
It was Wednesday
Yeah.
nights.
Because you didn't need ESPN Classic. ESPN
Yeah.
would just show it every now and
Yeah,
again.
that was right when ESPN was like, I got.
And
Oh,
boys,
my
that's
short
that's
Yeah.
I. Anytime I saw that, that's what I was watching.
Yeah.
I was watching
Yeah.
these old cats play and see
Bro,
what these fuckers would do to make them
crazy.
so
bro,
successful.
I just wanted to make sure you know I appreciate you and what you're
I
bringing
appreciate
to the
you.
table for this NFL
I
Look at
conversation.
the
appreciate you.
swagger
It's-
Dustin's got, man.
Yeah.
Can I appreciate the swagger you're bringing tonight?
I don't know.
Fresh swag.
It's just like
Swag.
Swag.
I love
Swag.
people.
Swing.
I'm representing
Swang.
any swagger I got is brought on to me by you fellas.
Ooh.
No.
you just got.
No,
you got-
we're
you
living
got-
what you're
yeah.
preaching, Bubby.
Yeah, I got
You
no
got
swag.
swagger.
I can't remember swag.
You come in wearing a Cubs
Mikey's
jersey.
over here white as hell with a Cubs jersey. Just-
Hey.
Hey,
He's got
Cubs are
sunscreen on
number
his head.
one.
He's got
Hey, we're
sunscreen on
freaking-
his head.
No,
Freaking tight.
Yeah, they are.
You better
Tied from the roll.
not
Watch your natty.
be easy with that.
You got to beat the Cubbies
Because
this year, Bubby.
my squad is number one.
Well, no, the Bears. The
Hey,
Cubs are.
when's First and 10 taking a road trip to a Reds
Cubbies
game?
got 11 in a row, I think.
Well, they got to be
12,
playing.
I don't know if they play
So
tonight or not.
for that to happen, they need to be playing the Cubs so we can see a real team play in Cincinnati.
Let's look up the schedule. We don't have to do it right now, but
Yeah.
let's.
He's
Both
already-
the-
he's
both the
like,
Cubs-
yeah,
both the Cubs
I'm
and the
already there.
Reds.
He's like, I already got it.
both the Cubs and the Reds are 17-9, which is
Yeah.
pretty legit.
This is great.
They're
Both
not.
our
No,
teams.
neither of them are going to represent the National League.
No,
because
it'll
you gotta
all
get through the
fall
Dodgers.
apart.
Yeah, well, the Dodgers, and they don't have pitching. Neither team has the pitching.
Reds
but
got the
that's-
pitching. Reds got pitching this year.
We'll see.
Absolutely.
We'll see if they can get there. I don't have faith in the Reds because I know what they do. They like to get talent, and then they'll have them for a year, and then they'll
So-
sell it off.
All right.
No,
That's what they do.
we didn't
I don't
really-
want to crush it though because you know what? I'm actually
didn't
happy to
really-
see the Reds up there. I got no issue. I don't hate the Reds by any.
We didn't really get much talent this year. We got Suarez back.
Yep.
But we did amp up our pitching for once. We've been bitching about it for years.
They do a little something.
Francona just. I
Different-
the
different
dude's-
level of-
It's a different level of management.
Yeah.
We got some pitching. I feel like our pitching is better than it should be. Because of Francona.
You know,
I like it.
talking
I feel like
baseball,
our
can we
pitching's
talk
solid.
about the brief moment how the Padres closer Nate Miller coming out to a corn
That was
song
Mason
is-
Miller.
Mason
That
Miller.
was
I was
Mason
testing you
Miller.
Yeah, it
past.
was Mason.
I was testing you past. And Mason Miller coming out to corn. Are you kidding me? In this day and
Phenomenal.
age,
And he's like 20, whatever.
yeah,
Did
like
you
no
even
way,
ball
no
it? You
way,
know what I
you
mean?
know corn, bro.
Hey, did
But
you
the
see
fact that-
Chapman throw 105 the other night?
what song did he come out to?
Whatever the hell Chapman wants
It's
to.
not
I
fucking
guess.
corn.
No,
It's
it
not
definitely
corn.
wasn't corn.
It's not corn.
No.
Hey, shout out! I have a cousin that pitches for my cousin's son pitches for Greenfield, and he's a
Stud.
I think he's a top 5
Yep.
prospect out of Indy, and he
Well,
pitched for huh?
wasn't there somebody who's in the MLB now from
No,
Greenfield too?
maybe.
No, you're thinking of UConn basketball.
No,
Oh,
I'm not.
well-
I'm not.
Well, there's a Max Frank
Because we had a really good pitcher.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna
Well, I
remember
mean,
if it's
it's like
Brownsburg or
Greenfield, so I was like,
Greenfield.
Yeah.
But
Gotta represent.
Mullins.
he pitches for Greenfield, and
No,
he
it's not
pitched for
Mullins.
Team USA. And shout out to these athletes,
Yeah.
especially
Greenfield's bringing the heat.
Greenfield
Yeah,
is
it
bringing
is.
the heat.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
let's get it.
The
Come
dude-
on,
the-
East Side.
The dude, he's my cousin's
That's-
son, and he played for Team USA 17U, and he
It's
got
not
the,
easy.
Hey, the corn's good over there, bud.
Motherfucker in my family has a baseball card. He has a baseball card and a
Isn't that
jersey
crazy?
card. That's wild. So wild.
Dude.
Shout out.
Hey, the East Side corn is got some good stuff in it.
Yeah.
Has for years.
He's on the radar.
coming.
His money. Okay.
He's on the radar.
Hey, put him on the radar.
Yeah.
You know what you do in the MLB? You got prospects, and they come up,
Yeah.
and then you
Poof.
hear about them, and then 2 years later, they're freaking starting.
I just think it's cool.
You
as
know what I
Walking
mean?
out to
love,
corn.
I
Yeah.
love the developmental program that MLB has with prospects. I
Oh, yeah, it's
absolutely
smart as
love
hell.
it. They have the farm teams. You have guys that come in that are hot, and they spend a year or two in these farm teams when they could probably start.
MLB
You know what I
does
mean?
it right.
And they develop.
They
them.
do it right.
Like they just do it right. I feel like every other sport needs to freaking latch onto it.
Yeah.
Don't force
I
these
think-
guys into a starting
Eh,
role.
I think it's hard in the NBA.
Develop
I don't
them.
know if you can do that in the NBA.
you could.
I don't
If you
think-
manage it
but
right.
there's certain.
So how about the Colts draft?
I don't really hate it. I just
That's
hate
good.
how we got CJ Allen.
Did we pick
I
a wide
think-
receiver yet? This is all I want to know.
No,
Oh.
no.
Yeah, you did.
Well,
You did.
7th round.
7th round. All right, good.
Mr.
Yeah.
Irrelevant almost.
I don't
Seventh
know.
254 is getting down there, man.
Yeah.
I like
Clearly-
I like CJ Allen a lot. I think he's going to be a hell of a linebacker for us. Where I struggle with the Colts is you went all in on Rodriguez from Texas Tech.
Hell
Best instincts out of all the linebackers. Yeah, maybe not the fastest, maybe not the strongest, maybe didn't produce as many turnovers as the guys that went before him, but he has the best instincts for the game. And what made Ray Lewis so successful? What made Brian Urlacher so successful?
Murdered people.
Is instincts.
Yeah,
You met the
instincts of
guys
murder.
in the line and you destroyed them. You
Kill
knew
'em.
where they were going to throw the ball and you were there. It's surprising.
Knife
Now,
in hand. ready to
CJ
roll.
Allen has very good instincts for the game. If there's a better linebacker than Rodriguez, I would have taken him, and I am happy for that pick.
Yep.
You think
But
it's-
here,
you
I've
think
got a
Ray
great
Lew-
idea.
you
Let's
think-
let's trade back.
You think
from
Ray Lewis's instincts was? I think Ray Lewis just being willing
He's a
to
killer, bud.
murder motherfuckers.
Well, he
was
murdered
that.
people on and off
And
the field.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, you got to have it.
exactly, and I want that
Apparently.
kind of guy on my team. I want somebody who's going to murder somebody on and off the field, left and right. Now, did he get convicted of
No,
those
he
crimes
didn't.
off the
No.
field?
I'm
No, he
full
didn't.
support.
So I will take that left
Yeah.
and right.
Him
Now,
too.
here, I've got a great old plan. Let's do a traditional Chris Ballard method. Let's trade back to get the guy that we could have gotten at 47. So what are we doing right now? We bring in Rodriguez 4 or 5 times to interview him when that's a guy we're falling in love with. He literally goes 2 picks before the
let's
Colts.
talk about the
So
Colts.
what could have you done to change the method?
the-
Maybe get a better
Let's talk about
linebacker,
the
in my
Colts.
opinion.
Are we trying to win? Are the Colts trying to
No,
win?
no, God, no. No.
I mean, Chris Ballard's
they-
No,
are.
Daniel Jones is our
100%.
quarterback. Fuck no, we're not
Is,
winning.
is Chris Ballard getting fired? Like, it's a stupid question because we ask it for the last
Well-
decade. What are the Colts trying
I
to
mean,
do?
they're trying to win. I mean, you don't have
I love
much
Halsey.
leverage. I mean, you don't have much leverage in this draft. So
I love Halsey. He's
You know what I mean?
very good safety.
Clearly, they better spend some money on some free agents.
It's
I don't
too
know.
late.
Who,
But
Yeah,
you
that
needed to
shit's
get,
sad.
in my opinion, you need to get a receiver a little bit higher
Yeah.
than, number 254
I-
in the draft.
You've got a lot of holes if you're the Colts, and I think
Plus, we drop what? Sorry, Mikey. We drop what X amount of money on Alec Pierce, and he's got this
Yeah.
mysterious ankle injury. He's going to miss 3 months. Like,
yeah, it's,
not
typical
great.
you
Ballard,
need
man.
you need a
Typical
receiver.
Ballard.
You lose Pierce, there's
How
not
do
much
you-
behind him.
Let me ask you this: how do you sign? And you guys, hey, the three of you know, I've been preaching Alec Pierce since he came in the league.
yeah,
Okay?
you loved him.
I said he's clearly our best receiver. Even AR could connect with him deep. How do you negotiate a contract like that? And this is to Ballard's stance, right?
Sure.
Like I just this is how many years? 10 years now we're with Ballard. How do you
Suffering.
negotiate that contract in the off season? And then 2 months later, or however many months, we're doing surgeries.
right.
Like, how do we do that?
Here's 100.
And then hold on. Prior to that, we negotiated a contract with Daniel Jones
Right.
that just came off an
Uh,
injury that took him out
A
of the
fucking
freaking
Achilles
season.
and a fucking femur
Okay,
injury.
what are we doing?
So remember,
What are we doing?
Mike, I'm gonna
It's
take
What
you.
dumb
are
as
you
fuck.
doing, Ballard?
Mikey, I'm gonna
I
take you.
don't understand.
$200 million plus, $200 million plus
Yeah,
combined with the two of them, two injured people.
So, Mikey, I'm gonna take you back to a beautiful
Don't get it.
memory you had when
Don't
you were
get
an
it.
adolescent.
Sure.
Remember '98?
Is Halliburton getting another 100
Sure.
million
Remember
right
'98
now?
and the Chicago Bulls?
Yeah.
What did Pippen
Oh,
do
no,
that
man.
season?
Oh, that I don't.
I don't get it.
So
How do
what,
they have
what,
leverage?
What Pippen did in '98 is he decided to get a surgery before the season started, which thus he did not play until after the All-Star break.
Yeah, but that was a fuck you to the fucking Bulls, though.
Yeah. So how do we not know that Alec Pierce is not doing
Pippen
that?
timed that as a fuck you to the Bulls because the Bulls wouldn't he wanted to be paid more, and he said fuck you, I'm gonna
Yeah,
do
but
this. This is a little bit different.
Yeah, but you have a piece of shit GM. How do we say that Alec Pierce is like, I'm making my money. You just signed me. Screw you.
How do-
I'm going to get my surgery
Well,
now.
How do you not know? To Danny's point, you're the GM.
Because he has all the cards in his hand right now.
So Alec, so to Danny's point, Chris Ballard had to know when he signed this
They
contract
had to have known.
that
And if
you're,
he didn't know, it's an even bigger problem.
there's a bigger problem.
I'm willing to bet $20 in a case of beer he did not know.
He had to have known
because he's a piece of
then,
shit.
then that is a fucking huge operational
that's a
fucking
big
red
deal.
flag.
Yeah, it's a huge deal.
operational red flag.
Big time.
You don't
What
know,
what are our physicians doing?
right? You don't know that this player
Like, you
probably
didn't put him
needs-
through some kind of test?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, boys.
All that
I've
last
been calling
season?
it for a little bit longer than you guys that Ballard should have been fired.
And then not like I said, $200 million when you add Daniel Jones and Alec Pierce's contract together to players that are fucking coming off of injuries, that are coming into and out of training camp injured.
So
Injured.
Yeah, no. I mean, there's a lot of very, very questionable things, and I think that we've got a rich tradition here at First and 10 of calling out how bad Ballard is, and the fact that, and I guaranteed it looked like an idiot because I thought there was absolutely no way they were going to retain him after last season.
No.
Like I would have bet money on it, or
Even
not
the
even last
season
season, year
before
before, the
that.
season before is when I was like, hey, going into like
Shit,
they
3
have to
years
fire
ago.
him, and they just don't. And again, I think probably, or say passing, probably had something to do with the fact that like we got to keep some continuity. Like this is the time to shake it up. But man, you look at this depth chart, which I've got pulled up here. Yeah, you didn't have any choice with Alec Pearson. Danny, you called this out as we were going through numerous episodes and said, listen, like they don't have anybody else.
Yeah.
Like you have to.
Yeah.
Because you got rid of Pittman, which we all think was the right move
Needed
at the
to
time.
happen. Needed to
It needed to happen. But who do you have? You've got Alec Pierce, you got Josh Downs,
And
Ashton
everybody
Doolin.
else.
I mean,
I think part of the nest egg there is you expected them to draft somebody.
well,
who's-
who are you going to draft? You don't have first
Or
round picks
pick up
because you
somebody-
traded two
right.
ones for a cornerback. You weren't that close to a Super Bowl. I understand what happened last year. I get it. Like we were all like shocked because it would just, again, it turned out fairly well. The first half of the season, you're like, this is a legit team. Maybe we're doing some things, but there's holes there.
They're
And-
leaning,
and-
you know what
it
it
was
is?
it's fool's gold, is what it was.
You know what it is? He's leaning on Josh Downs.
100%.
Period.
100%.
And the only reason he's leaning on Josh Downs is because of TJ.
yeah.
And I'll give
Like,
it to Josh. Is Josh
He's like, man,
Josh
we
really
don't need
hasn't.
it because
Yeah.
TJ can cover up the rest.
Josh really hasn't been given the opportunity to let his wings spread, which is what got
do you
him
mean?
drafted.
What the
is-
hell did Pittman do to overshine him?
Josh Downs is a first down.
They're two
fucking
completely different
walking
receivers.
first
You've
down.
got Pittman.
How is that?
Pittman.
You've got Pierce, who's your deep guy. You've got Josh Downs, who's your slot guy. What do you mean?
Pittman.
You can't compare apples to apples. That's like
They're
trying to
both-
compare
they literally
Julian
both-
Edelman to Randy Moss.
They're
You're not
literally
going to do
both-
it.
whoa.
You know.
You're not going to do it because you've got Julian Edelman who's in the slot.
Now
You
you're
got Randy
losing.
Moss who's running go.
Well, okay,
balls.
so what is Josh?
Okay,
what
sorry,
is-
sue me. I chose a Hall of Famer. Okay,
So what the fuck?
Okay.
What
you
did
can't
Josh
compare
Downs-
Pittman to Josh Downs. They're both two different receivers.
That's
I'm not talking about their slots. I'm talking about their performance.
yeah.
What did Josh Downs do better than Pittman last year?
Pittman did everything to Josh Downs because
Pittman didn't do
they
shit
didn't have
last year.
Josh
Josh
Downs on the
Downs-
fucking field.
Josh Downs was a walking first down in my mind.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I agree
If he
100%.
caught the ball,
If he
I
caught the
agreed
ball.
100%.
Yeah.
They don't put him on the field. They haven't the last 2 years. Go back and look at it. Go back
Okay.
and look at the film.
Okay. So if we're going to talk about stats, I'm going to pull it up. We look at Pittman last year. He had 80 receptions, 784 yards, averaged about a first down a catch. I mean, it's 9.8 average. That's, it is what it is, along with 27, 7
he's
tutties.
always been a midi.
Looking at Josh Downs last year, he had 58 receptions, 566 yards. He averaged about the same, about a first down a catch with 4 tutties. So they
And
are
he's
different.
smaller.
Yeah, they're
They-
different receivers. Like they're
Yeah. different
different type. Like I get the point that you're making, Marshall. I think what Danny's getting at is that like performance wise,
You can't put your eggs in that basket.
yeah, you're banking a lot on what Josh Downs can do in this situation.
Yeah.
Obviously, Alec Pierce, which is your deep threat, but the problem is that he's going to get double covered because over the top safeties are like,
Well,
all right,
no-
well they got nothing
Yeah,
else.
they got
Yeah.
nothing else. Yeah.
We have to double him.
This season proves you have to do more with Alec Pierce, and you're relying way more on Tyler Warren to step up and be that number
That was
2.
my whole point.
Number 1 is
Yeah.
Tyler Warren the number 1
You
going
can't
in.
cover up Josh Downs with TJ. Or Tyler, sorry.
I knew. What you
I
were
just
talking
had a
about.
blackout.
Yeah, I knew you.
Was
I knew.
Was that a ghost?
I don't.
I
know.
just I got my whole soul.
I knew what
sucked
you were
out of
talking
me.
about. I knew what you were talking about.
It went.
You just can't.
Holy hell,
you can't
boys!
cover him up.
Well, it
Like,
is going to.
why not keep Pittman?
Well, plus
At that
you
point,
add
you
to
know?
the
Pittman's worth-
quarterback issue that we're
Pittman's-
gonna have. Like Daniel Jones won't be back till late November, early December.
No, Daniel Jones will be start of the season.
No, he's not.
For sure will be.
No, he's not.
100% will be.
No,
Yes.
no.
Yes.
How much money you want to put on that?
We wouldn't have re-signed him if he wouldn't be a starter the first of the season.
We're that stupid to do that with an
We're
Achilles
gonna sign
injury.
Aaron Rodgers.
That ain't happening.
What franchise is that stupid to do that? Us. We
So,
will do that.
At least
He
according
is
to
not
AI,
starting by week 1.
Well, what they're saying is that he's on track for a potential return the start of the training camp or week 1. It's an Achilles injury. It's hard to tell how that's
Yeah,
going to
you can't
progress. We're still too early
stay
into
there.
it to really know. But anyway you slice it, you're looking at a guy who one of the biggest things about him is the fact that he was mobile. That was one of the things you looked for is the
Yeah.
fact that dude could escape the pocket because the offensive line is, it is what it is. I mean, it's shaky. I think that you're looking at a situation where you're heading into next year, you're banking on this dude being able to repeat the performance from last year, which is asking a lot of Daniel Jones coming off an Achilles injury with less
That just got
offensive
paid, by the way.
weaponry. I mean,
He'll definitely be. I mean, look. He'll definitely be back. You got Tatum that's already back for Boston, and you use
Yeah,
your
he'll
you,
be
you,
back.
you
Two
use your
completely different sports.
right. You use your Achilles a lot more in basketball than you do in football as a QB. So he will be back. He may not be able to be as mobile
Yeah.
as he was, but he'll be back. Now,
What's the reason why we fell in love with Daniel Jones?
Who fell in love with Daniel Jones?
no.
No,
Nobody
I'm not
did.
saying.
I'm not in love with him.
Okay. I'm not saying we, as in this four.
That was all we had. To
I'm
choose
not
from.
saying we, as in this four. I'm saying the jackasses that we have in management.
we have no
and
other
GMs.
reason. We have no other.
and
we don't-
have
we didn't
nothing
So
have
else.
what made us
Bad
fall in
deci-
love with
bad-
Daniel Jones
bad
is the fact that
decisions.
he can run.
No, we
So
felt-
what is he
no.
not going to be able to do this season? His
we didn't
run.
fall
He's
in
coming
love.
off
No,
an
I don't think
Achilles
anybody's
injury.
in love.
Do
I
you
think you're
understand?
wrong. I think you're wrong.
What
No
it's
one's in
like
love
coming
with him.
off of an Achilles injury?
yeah. Well,
We made bad decisions since 20.
So now we're trusting Jameis Winston to throw the ball
I
around.
would much.
Who's
rather
gonna be
have
throwing
Jameis
the-
Winston.
can we
throwing the
do
ball?
that? Can we bring
Yes,
James?
I will take
Remember when
Jameis
I was
Winston.
like, why are we
Yes,
didn't sign
please.
Jameis Winston last
Give
year?
me like he's one dimensional. That's what made
Yeah.
You
Daniel
mentioned
Jones
Johnny
special.
Manziel earlier. Give me him.
I did.
Like
I
fuck.
take Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
What got Daniel Jones drafted is the fact that he could run the ball and he's
Can
pretty
he, though?
smart and he can
fumbled it
throw the
80
ball.
fucking times
Yeah,
for
and
the
he got
fucking
hit by the
Giants.
turf monster, which is a whole nother topic. But that's what got him drafted. And we all hated Miles Turner, but what got him drafted is the fact that he's a big man that can stretch the floor.
Don't even bring
But
up Miles Turner. Don't even.
What are you
Daniel
doing?
Jones,
Don't even
Daniel
fucking-
Jones, what
Are you
got
trying
him?
to start an
Yeah,
argument?
like, you want
I
to
am.
fight right now?
But what? Yeah, let's bring it. But what got Daniel Jones drafted is the fact that he could run the ball. He's pretty smart at quarterback and could make some reads and dish it to this guy here and there and win some games.
Sure.
Yeah, sure, he did it here, but also he sucks. And that's why we hit that wall at the end of the season. And
long-winded.
who's the guy who brought Daniel Jones in? Is Chris Ballard. So what we need to
Because he's a
do
fucking
is
idiot.
get rid of Chris Ballard, and what we need to do is get rid of Daniel
So,
Jones,
devil's
reset this
advocate.
whole thing,
Yeah.
and start
should
from
have
ground
done that.
zero and
We're not
rebuild
gonna do it.
with a much smarter individual.
Devil's advocate, though.
But how though? We don't even have a
Devil's
first-round pick.
advocate. Devil's advocate.
No, you
is-
got to wait till 2028
Daniel
because we're going to
Jones-
trade back next year. That's
is-
happening.
Is Daniel Jones? Is Daniel Jones not in the same category as Sam Darnold?
No, fuck no, he's not. Hell no, he's not.
Well,
see what I'm saying?
Here's the
Yeah,
difference.
that's what I mean, though.
The difference is the team
with you.
around them because
Yeah.
the Colts don't have
Yeah,
a
that's
defense
my
like
point
Seattle
earlier.
does. They have the running game.
thought
I
they
mean, an
did.
equivalent running game. I mean, it's not like Jonathan Taylor's any kind of step down
They
from
did
Kenneth Walker.
until they got rid of Kenneth Walker, the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but-
MVP, which
but-
is
But if
stupid.
okay, so we all don't think that they have the team. But if you were in the Colts brass and you thought I'm a player or two away on defense and I'm a player or two away from on offense from having a Seattle type of team, would Daniel Jones not be the answer
he's never the answer.
that Darnold was to Seattle?
I think that they fell in love with the results they had. They were put into an impossible position because you can't go out and get another starting quarterback. Danny hit on this a lot last year, talking about and we all we pushed so hard on him about AR, but the point that he was making is there is no other option. It's not as if there's a whole line of, hey, I've got first stringers, I got a bunch of starters sitting here waiting that you can go pick up. You just can't.
Yeah.
Teams don't let them go.
The problem
They
you
had to
have,
pay
the problem you have
years.
with the Jets is, okay, is this a bad quarterback or is this the organization that screwed this quarterback up?
Sure.
And look how well Darnold did when he left the Jets.
Well,
yeah, he had to play under Baker Mayfield with Carolina, and he did a little stretch, and then he did phenomenal under KOC, and then he goes out to
He
Seattle.
played terrible
And
at
did
some of
phenomenal.
those locations. Like he did not do great at every location.
Well, he did okay in Minnesota until the end of the season.
Yeah.
And then,
Well, the
he gets
argument you have
exposed,
in
but-
Carolina
yeah.
is that was a crap system for
Sure.
him. to
Yeah,
be-
Carolina's terrible.
I still,
That's- Whether I agree with it or not, I mean, maybe he needed to sit back and just get his mind right. Like, who knows what that situation was. But, I mean, the man won the Super Bowl, and he did great.
That's
and
what I'm
he
saying.
Let,
That's
he
my
let his
point.
boys...
That's my point with Daniel Jones.
He
is
led
if
his
you
team.
really believe, if I'm Chris
and I will be
Ballard-
more than happy to eat shit if Daniel Jones
if I'm Chris
somehow
Ballard,
turns around.
and we all think Chris Ballard's
but
an
I
idiot.
just don't believe it.
But if I'm Chris Ballard, and we all think Chris Ballard's an idiot, but if I am Chris Ballard, and I think that my defense is one or two players away, and I think my offense is one or two players away, is not Daniel Jones fucking Sam Darnold? And you go,
Yeah,
and
100%.
you go,
That's where
huh,
we're at
No,
last
he
year.
set us
huh.
back
and
another
you go,
6
and
years.
you go, huh? If I get these one or two things on each side, I have a Super Bowl team with a game manager that will not turn the ball over.
Yeah, 100%.
Fucking let's go.
That's what, yeah. And to
100%.
yeah, and to your point, it's not what we think. It's not even what the fans think. It's
Yeah.
what this, to your point, you're
Yeah.
putting yourself in Ballard's shoes and saying, this is what he's seeing.
Yeah.
He's
This is
seeing,
my only option.
yeah.
My best option.
And I think my defense is almost there.
My best option.
And I think my
Yeah.
offense is almost there.
Yeah.
He's
Bing,
lost
bang.
everywhere he's
Hey,
been.
I'm gonna pay Daniel
Hasn't
Jones
won
to
anything.
come over here.
I
yeah,
think he's
so
wrong.
if I was a
but
loser, yeah, that's what I would.
I don't think he was so.
None of us are
Where
disagree.
I feel like Mikey's bringing this back up. I don't think Ballard was wrong for signing Daniel Jones
No.
because it was the only option we had.
Yeah.
Okay, drafting AR was the only option we had. Okay, these are his life supports. Nobody wants to come here.
No.
Okay, how many times you hear me say this with the Pacers, the Colts, anything Indiana? Nobody wants to come here.
No.
Nobody. There's no appeal to this market. Okay, We draft. Okay, we draft good players, and
Yeah.
they're either elite or they're not.
Not. Yeah. they
Plain
don't
and
work
simple.
out. Yeah.
Just how it is.
Right.
Okay. Daniel Jones was the only option we had.
Well, we did a lot
Because
of good
AR
drafting out of Bill Polian.
Shit the bed.
Right. And,
Okay. I still believe that if they would have just continued some kind of development and leadership last year with AR,
yeah.
I feel like he could have been something great even after he walked off the field.
But but my question is, do you think if the Colts brass, not even just Chris Ballard, Carly, or say whoever's making the decisions now above him, if they really thought this team was shit, wouldn't you just say F it and not re-sign Daniel Jones? And
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
100%.
as somebody in there, whether it's Chris Ballard or Chris Ballard and
No,
everybody,
I definitely
thinks this team is something.
as much as I will crap on Daniel Jones all day long, he definitely showed enough to be worthy of somebody to come back to the organization.
I'm going to tell you.
I just hate Chris Ballard so much that I let that hate oversee
For sure.
Hey,
any
I
sort
agree.
of logic.
It's the most honest thing I've heard someone say.
As
and
long
I
as
appreciate that.
JT is here,
There's
always going to be a
oppor-
Daniel
yeah.
Jones.
Yeah.
There's always going to be an AR.
For sure.
There's always going to be because
And the
we
fact
can't
that we-
appeal any kind of QB outside of free agency
yeah.
unless we draft them.
Yeah.
When was the
So-
last time we had a quarterback for the same quarterback for 2 years? Carson Wentz?
Carl?
Did Philip
Yeah.
Rivers
Carl
play
Wentz?
1 year?
We just did 1 year, and I was so disappointed, man.
God, we
Because we were just gearing up.
We were going to win a Super Bowl.
So I think the ultimate
Yes.
point with this though, and it's interesting to look at. Just go back and look at the 2023 quarterback class. The top of the class, like honestly, it didn't go in exactly in order, but like there's nobody. Like you either got Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, which were both selected before Anthony Richardson,
Yep.
which I would argue they're both better than Anthony Richardson, at least based on production.
based on what has
Yeah.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm glad you're talking about this class. Okay.
awful class.
I do want to hit on two of them that had faced adversity, and then one of them came back.
Not just
Okay.
adversity, a lot of
A lot of
adversity.
it. Bryce Young, and I'm just going to touch on Bryce Young real quick.
Yeah.
That dude faced adversity and came back and
He
performed.
has, and he
Okay.
looked phenomenal last year.
And that is development. That is leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, the Colts leadership sucked with AR,
Yeah.
and that is just plain and simple. And you know what?
The guy just needed to play more games. I mean, yes, he needs to. I mean, there's a lot of. There's a
Period.
whole lot.
But also, you
But
needed leadership.
what
behind it.
makes you great is repetition.
repetition and leadership?
The more you play
Okay.
something, the more you try, the more you study. Like it just makes you better. And he was never given that here, and that's a shame on us.
It is
Because I think
Yeah, it's
Anthony
trash.
Richardson could have been a hell of a pro.
Maybe.
And
He could have been.
I hope he ends up
Could've.
somebody with another organization that gives him a chance.
I will say this.
I think the dude's going to be out of the league after this.
Well, yeah, he has no foot to stand
Right.
on. He's
I mean,
shit
what-
his whole reputation
Right.
on the
There's
ground.
a reason why we
But
have
honestly,
no trade partners
I-
for him.
I
We shed all
fully
over the guy.
blame that on our developmental
Yes.
system and our leadership.
It didn't help, but that developmental system did make him quit in a game. Okay,
Well, that's what I mean. No, you know what though?
I
Nobody's
will
pushing
give you
this
that
dude.
because he lost the locker room when he did
why
that.
would why would you think that's okay if your leadership isn't?
I
pushing
mean,
you
nobody
every
else
day?
for the Colts did that though. Like that's not. I mean, it's tough to point to it and say
I'll
like,
give you that
because that's
100%.
such an outlier for any football player.
Did he ever?
None of us have ever seen.
Did he
that.
ever give up in a college game?
I
No,
don't
he
know.
gave up in a pro game.
I would assume not, because we hadn't heard it. But I mean, he played
But
what
he-
13 games, something like that, is where he started. You know, I think you look at it, and we don't know.
gotta push these dudes.
Anthony Richardson was a guy that the perfect situation would be to go and back up like a Mahomes for a few years, to just go and learn, be forced to see what he's got, to see what he's willing to
Yeah.
put in.
He's
And-
develop. He needs
yeah,
to develop.
He's a project. The problem is
Yeah.
that you can't have a project at 4th overall. You
No.
can't. You just can't. And with a team that was starved for a quarterback, I would make the case that Ballard was kind of screwed that year. It's his own making. He should
Yeah,
have
he
addressed
was.
quarterback years before, but the situation he was in, he was screwed.
He was
What-
forced not to be able to Just
There's-
sign a free agent.
What you would
He
have
just
how many
had.
years?
He had. There isn't
How many
anybody.
years?
what you would have done.
How many years did we do that?
Yeah, he
He
did
was
one
forced
off.
into drafting somebody.
What you would have
Yeah.
done.
It's his fault.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But
It was
in the
starting
situation,
at Carson
yeah.
So
Wentz,
look at the money that we had spent on quarterbacks before that draft. Now, what you would have done is you would have brought in. Was he available or at the time or not? I don't know. I'm just throwing a name out there. But what you would have done is brought in, say, a Kirk Cousins to be your starter,
can't do it.
and
If you
look,
couldn't
who's,
Not
afford it.
look who's look
Can't
who's
afford him,
your
not
backup
appealing.
is your
He's like,
Anthony
"Come here."
Richardson. But I'm just saying, I'm not. I
get what you're
get
saying.
money doesn't work with Kirk Cousins. Obviously,
even
money
money.
doesn't work. I'm just
He's
throwing
like,
a name
nobody wants
out
to come
there.
here.
I'm just throwing a
Yes.
name out there. But that's you would have brought somebody in who's been around. You know, Case Keenum
Yeah,
Kirky
yeah.
would've-
is
Kirky would've been.
a perfect.
2 years ago, Kirky would have been perfect here.
I get what
You
you're
know,
saying. I get what you're
You know,
saying.
that's
Marshall.
what you
Yeah.
would have done.
I
I
think-
think he would have been decent under Gardner Minshew.
love
I
it.
think he could have shown him a thing or two.
Gardner Minshew.
I'm just
How
saying.
about that? How about
You
that
want
one?
to
Love it.
throw shit quarterbacks around.
Yeah.
That's somebody who's been
Well, let's-
around, but also
Hey.
knows what comes around.
Hey,
Who
shout
could
out
have
to-
shown Anthony
shout out to
Richardson
Minshew.
something?
Shout out to Minshew.
The
That dude
problem
came
with
in
Anthony
there and
Richardson is
dominated.
the man literally played 13 games in college, big time college, SEC, and never really succeeded, never really got taught, gets drafted because he has fucking phenomenal talent.
Yeah.
And his talent gets us drafted
Athleticism.
4/1. And what do we do is completely shit on a man who didn't deserve that.
Well, I think, and we're probably getting close to that point here. But the thing, I think a good note to wrap up the entire situation when you look at the Colts quarterback situation, you look at just Anthony Richardson in general and what happened there. I think ultimately what you're looking at is a situation that is years in the making.
But it's also a guy who demolished his eye with an elastic band. Can we
Yeah,
talk
no,
about
it's
that for a second?
we could go on a tangent with that. I think the thing you got to note with Anthony Richardson is the fact that he is a culmination of years of mistakes that Ballard made in not addressing the quarterback position properly.
Yes.
He did not come in and recognize the fact that these Band-Aids, you didn't have a team that was going to win a Super Bowl. All those years, if you Band-Aid it, the idea is you can Band-Aid it if you've got a team that's good enough that can win a Super Bowl. The Colts never had
Well,
a team.
you
that
painted
was good
yourself
enough.
in the corner by kicking. You punted the football on
100%.
the quarterback so far down the road to where you had to pick.
This is all you had.
Right.
That's all you
had
had.
to pick AR.
Who else were you going to get? You know, and I noted this earlier is the fact that you look at the quarterback class in 2023, there was nobody to choose from.
CJ Stroud or
I would
nothing?
take CJ Stroud over AR. I'm not saying he's good. I'm not saying it's a great selection.
All right, we can argue about fucking AR and Ballard all day long. It's crazy because Ballard's decisions for the past years just get you fired up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they get everybody fired up. It's ridiculous. There's zero accountability. AR had zero accountability.
He brought in a quarterback that rolled his both
Yeah.
ankles.
It's ridiculous, and it's time. Honestly, if the Colts win the Super Bowl this year, if Ballard isn't fired after even that happens, like
Right.
it's ridiculous.
Not happening.
Thanks for tuning in.
First and 10.
The NFL draft is over. Everybody line their ducks in the row because it's coming. NFL season's coming.
go.
I don't even know why we're talking about the NFL because it's fucking NBA playoffs.
And the Knicks are down.
kind of
the
fucking pissed off
fucking
about
Knicks
that.
are down.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Go check us out on social media at First and 10 TIN. We're full episodes on YouTube
Let's
and
go.
Spotify, Facebook.
The moon is
TikTok.
real.
We're all over the place. Come check us out.
Peace.